Hi viewers, welcome to my YouTube channel. In this picture you can find great archaeological remains in Egypt, which gives us a picture of the old relics, the monuments, and it also tells about the ambitions behind those great pharaohs, great kings. Further moving, here we have a picture where the great Ramesses, the pharaohs pictures are there. This is a statue of Pharaoh Ramesses II, is also known as Ozymandias. Okay, and here there is a statement. It is said that one of the ancient inscription, okay, as being observed by Greek writer Diodorus. I am going to read the inscription. What is this? King of kings, am I Ozymandias? If anyone would knew how great I am and where I lie, let him surpass one of my works. See, the very statement tells about proudness of a pharaoh, great king is being highlighted, and he seems to be one of the mightiest, very powerful, as well as one of the cruel ruler. And I think this has inspired one of the great poet. Let's see what is this all about. And here we have a picture of great romantic poet of English literature, P.B.Shelley. He has been inspired by, as I said earlier, the Diodorus inscription that about Ozymandias, that king. So he, inspired by that inscription, he wrote a poem, Ozymandias, Shelley, 1792 to 1822. He is a romantic poet as well as he is an atheist. Let us see what he wants to tell in his poem, Ozymandias. Here we have the poem Ozymandias, a poem written by P.B.Shelley, inspired by one of the ancient monuments. Let us see. It is a sonnet, first octave. I am going to explain. I met a traveler from an antique land who said, two vast and trunkless legs of stone stand in the desert. Near them, on the sand, half sunk, a shattered visage lies, whose frown and wrinkled lip and sneer of cold command tell that its sculptor well those passions read which yet survive, stamped on these lifeless things, the hand that mocked them and the heart that fed. I met a traveler. The first person singular, he is the poet P.B.Shelley. I met a traveler. See, the very first starting, the line, the poet starts to explain. All of a sudden, there is a break, and it's almost like the poet becomes a framework where, as a reader, we are looking into the picture, which is explained by a traveler, another character. Some sort of a different approach, creative way of narrating. P.B.Shelley is taking. I met a traveler, all of a sudden. So it also tells that the poet has not gone to that exact location at all. Maybe, as earlier as I said, Diodorus, an ancient inscription which inspired our poet. So I met a traveler, maybe the inscription, from an antique land, antique, old, ancient, past, and ancient land. Here, of course, Egyptian civilization, which as a reader we can understand that. So I met a traveler from an antique land. The story goes on now. And what the traveler has to say for our poet, who said. So from here onwards, we are going to look into the frame which poet is holding, and we are peeping inside the frame where the traveler is explaining about his views, his impressions, that we need to analyze. It is an interesting story within a story. I met a traveler who said, two vast and trunkless legs of stone, vast, very huge, enormous, trunkless legs of stone, trunkless, there is no top body at all, completely body is lost, invisible, there is no body I can see. Two vast and trunkless legs of stone, only legs of stone, as you can see in the picture, you can find the legs of stone is there as a monument, only that remain, legs of stone. Stand in the desert, stand as if lying there, as if expecting tourist travelers to come and appreciate, stand in the desert. There is something strange the traveler is finding, because he is not able to see the entire statue at all. Top body is not there at all. Only two legs of stone stand in the desert. Stone stand in the desert, stand, okay, it is an abstract this, where there is no human being. Near them, continuation, near those two trunkless legs of stone, near them on the sand, in the desert, half sunk, a shattered visage lies. Visage, face, shattered completely into pieces. Half sunk, half buried inside the sand. Shattered, as the narrator is narrating, not only two legs, near the sand, desert, near to that particular two legs, the statue, a shattered visage lies. Visage, face. There is a face of the statue also I can see. Whose frown, angry, being angry, little, maybe being proud of himself also we can understand. Whose frown and wrinkled lip, wrinkled, due to age or this, wrinkled lip and sneer, a smile of cold command. Very interesting now. So even in the statue also, the face, it is reflecting some sort of command, order, some sort of dominating nature. Cold, very angry look, cold. Maybe due to, in the sand, cold, that is also being highlighted. It is dead. That even that face carry, in spite of so many years, the statue face itself carry command, dominating nature. Tell that its sculptor well those passions read. So what they can tell? Two legs of as well as the visage. Tell that its sculptor, one who has created, the artist who is behind in making the statue, tell the reader or tell the tourist that its sculptor well those passions read, passions, feelings, emotions in that statue or in that face, well those passions read which yet survive. Though the king is no more, the empire also disappeared, and due to the passing of the time, sculptor and his art remained. What remained now? The face as well as the stone sculpture remained. Even in that face also there is a cold command, order look is there, and it is the beauty of the artist, sculptor, who when he is living, who has observed all that, the cruel, angry rule of the king, that is highlighted, which yet survive, stamped on those lifeless things. So lifeless, deliberately the poet makes us to understand that the statue, the king is no more, due to the time he disappeared, but his statue remained. So the sculptor, he has stamped, the artist, his impression he has stamped on the sculpture, whatever he is creating, it has become eternal. He has given life to that particular art. On those lifeless things, the hand that mocked them and the heart that fed. Very interesting line. The hand that mocked them. It can be the king, the mighty king, the hand that mocked them with that power and strength, laughing at those poor and the needy, mocked them. And the heart that fed. The same king who has fed, given the food for them. Now the artist has created a work of art which remain eternal forever. So still in that face we can understand the cold command, the angry look and the dominating nature of that statue, which we can understand so far. It is also possible that the monarch, the mighty king, has instructed the sculptor to make a monument, archaeological statue, which prove the human legacy. He wants to be immortal. And same thing, the sculptor has created a work of art where the feelings of that cold command and that frown and the passions, everything, in that visage, he is reflecting. The sculptor is reflecting all those images of the king, his ambition, his passion to remain eternal forever, and his strength and being proud of himself, where nobody can stand in front of him. That feeling, everything is visible in the visage as well as in that statue. We can find the impression of Diodorus, that is ancient Greek writer, and whatever he has found on the inscription of the great Egyptian monument. Same ideas P.B.Shelley, the poet, carry further. Here let's see. And on the pedestal, a platform where the statue has been fixed upon, the support bottom part. and on the pedestal these words appear. The traveler, ancient traveler who has gone to the different parts of the world, who is depicting, who is highlighting that thought. On the pedestal, the platform where the statue stands, these words, particular words, what is that? My name is Ozymandias, king of kings. Look on my works, you mighty, and despair! Exclamatory mark. So, see the proud words of that great, mightiest of the king, the Pharaoh. What he is telling? My name is Ozymandias. Ozymandias, it is almost like a title. One who is born on this earth to rule. Nobody can stand in front. That Ozymandias, Ramses II, king of kings. So I am the monarch, mightiest. Nobody can stand in front of me. Further, look on my works. Look on my works and my achievements. My success. You mighty. All those other kings who all remain, and despair. Have that fear. Have that fear part and all. So in these two lines, Shelley, the poet, of course, through the image of the traveler on an antique land, he is depicting us that thought of the Pharaoh and his that mighty, that feeling of proud, being proud of. Further, after that, see, look on my works, you mighty, and despair. Very next line, nothing beside remains. Very beautifully, the poet makes us to realize this fact. This is the harsh reality. Nothing beside remains. Nothing remains on this world. On the sands, in the desert, even the statue is also not remaining. Only the legs are there, whereas the top part is already destroyed due to the time. Okay, only face remained, and that too it is almost buried. It is almost like a burial ground now. Nothing beside remains, full stop. This is also very symbolic, and as a student we need to analyze that. Further, around the decay, it is a natural process. Over a period of so many years, neither the statue, nothing remains. Look on my works. As a reader, look on my works. What works? As a reader will understand. Where is the kingdom? There is no kingdom. What about the king? King is also no more. And who has created the sculpture? Where is the sculpture? He is also neither the sculptor who created this work of art, as well as the king. Nobody is there. Even the kingdom, empire, everything is all man-made, disappeared. That's what? Nothing beside remains. That is the main thought here. So all the human attempt, the legacy, fighting against the nature, everything, nothing remains in this world. Man is mortal. That futility of a human attempt to surpass everything and to become eternal, permanent on this world is being highlighted. Nothing beside remains. Around the decay, so whatever the waste, everything is there due to the time and the sands of that colossal wreck. Oxymoron. Colossal wreck. Colossal, huge, mighty wreck. Total, it is lost. Boundless and bare. That vast earlier image, boundless and bare. The king may be very strong, mighty. He might have conquered so much kingdoms, so many kingdoms. That vast hectares of land. What happened? Boundless and bare. Totally now it is nothing. Because king also disappeared. As well as the kingdom he has conquered also disappeared. No more. The lone and level sands stretch far away. Very beautifully the last line makes the reader understand that through the, of course, the traveler's eyes. What is that? The lone. What remains then in the desert, in the sands of time? The lone. Only the sand remained. Level sands. So sand is a symbol of time. The concept of time. What is that? So in the sands, the level. So sands will level everything and stretch far away. So the complete boundless and bare. Completely it will far away. Whatever, wherever you can see the traveler. Nothing is there other than sands, other than desert. That's what. So it has leveled the king, the proud king, as well as his kingdom completely, the lone. So what remained finally is the nature. What remained finally is the sand. Symbolically the desert, created by mighty, almighty. So man-made, all the man-made things, objects, everything disappears. Okay. Only what remained is the sand. Created by divine force, created by the nature. So finally the poet tells that nature remains, nothing else other than that. This poem Ozymandias by P.B.Shelley, it is also one of the political comment on the European monarchs of the time when Shelley was living, as well as though the context here is about the Pharaoh's Egyptian kings. It is almost like a political statement on the European monarchs during that time also. That also we can analyze. With that thought, some of the important thoughts of the poem Ozymandias. Let's see. Important lines I just compiled. You can see the pedestal where the statue was there and now no more. Legs of stone stand. Only the legs of stone remain. Nothing is there. Totally the entire image or the entire sculpture, statue is no more because of the decay, the time factor. Legs of stone stand where in the desert and the onslaught of the sand has destroyed everything, disappeared. Further, the visage, the face lies, only the face lies lifeless. It is the harsh reality the poet Shelley wants the readers to understand. That is the harsh. What is the harsh reality? Only face remains. The beauty of the art, the beauty of the sculpture, the sculptor who created only remains here. Further, my name Ozymandias, King of Kings, the mighty. The exclamatory mark. Where is the mighty now? Only the legs are there. Neither the statue nor the king. Everybody disappeared and no more. That's what is the harsh reality which we need to understand. Further, nothing remains. It is also a mockery. P.B.Shelley is mocking at the Ozymandias, the great Ramses II, who declared that he wants to remain eternal. The human concept of fighting against the nature to become immortal. That is also a mockery. Nothing remains in this world. And poet is also an atheist that we need to analyze. We don't have any choice other than living here. Life and death are the two parameters where man is not having any role to play, being an atheist. That is also highlighted. Further, the art, human legacy, that is a moral implicit thought being highlighted here. What is that? The art remains. In spite of artist no more today, okay, the statue remained. We don't know who is the sculptor who created, but still that art beauty remained. That is what. And human legacy, the king Ozymandias who wants to remain and wants to become permanent, eternal with his strength and all, he is no more. That is the moral obligation which is very implicit in this poem Ozymandias. Further, Ozymandias is nothing but to breathe. Ozy means to breathe and Mandis is to rule. So Ozymandias is a title given to this mighty king, king who is on this earth being bestowed by the divine to breathe and to rule. That is this. But what happened now? Only his legs remain. Further, the poet and through the traveler, the concept of sand is that is a reclaiming all. So all means what? Everything. All man-made structure, man-made creations disappeared. It is ultimately that is the harsh reality we want to, the poet wants us to understand that. Further, the tyranny, oppressive rule, tyranny, the mighty and harsh, cruel rule of the kings, all will disappear. King as well as kingdom, both disappeared. What about the sculpture? Sculpture only remained. Though the artist who created the sculpture is not there, king as well as the kingdom, mighty empire, everything disappeared because of the time, the concept of time in the science. That is versus time. So the concept of time we need to understand in Shelley's this poem Ozymandias, which is a harsh reality, truth which we all need to understand. Further, the dead decay and there is nothing other than that. So what P.B.Shelley finally the poet is making us to understand is through a traveler in an antique land, what he is describing is nothing but the dead and decay in the desert, in the sands. There is no statue, only the 2 feet as well as that inscription remained. Okay. Then through the inscription, the traveler comes to know that that statue belongs to Ozymandias, great ruler who was born on this earth to rule. That's it. But he is no more. That's further. And poet being an atheist, who questioned the authority of the God and being a non-believer, he thinks that through this poem, the choice bestowed to a human being between life and death, these two parameters, we are expected to live. Other than living, we don't have any choice. But what the poet may be highlighting here is We have to live where people will appreciate our good work. For instance, King Ashoka, in the Indian concept, who ruled with a very good thoughts and the Buddhism concept and with the images of the poet in the poem Ozymandias. Let us try to live in a better constructive way, useful manner, so that we can live our better work in the sands of time, almost like our footprints. Let us try to live for the future generations to come, so that through our footprints, let them understand the meaning of the living, better living. Okay, and our footprints can be an inspiration for them to imbibe as well as inculcate. Consider it to like and subscribe. Thank you.